Ben Sehl, and I'm with Randy Joyner, and we're going to go through our chapter now, chapter 9, lessons, drills, and misconceptions. Hogan said that he really wanted to get his way deep into that right heel. Let's talk a little bit about why he did that and what the pivot really does across his chest and kind of connected, if you will, the arms with the body. We know they work together. The corollary of that is when you actually get your right hip to move back. One of the things that he did, and he was very keen on this, was he got well into his right heel. He really turned into his right heel. Note, we didn't say that he moved over to his right side, nor did we say that he stayed on his left side. I'm Ed Sehl, and I'm with Randy Joyner, and we're going to go through our chapter now, chapter 9, on lessons, drills, and misconceptions. First thing we want to talk about, Randy, is what does the body do in the golf swing? Let's talk a little bit about that. We talked a lot in the book. Ronnie talked about how Hogan said that he really wanted to get his way deep into that right heel. Let's talk a little bit about why he did that and what the pivot really does in the golf swing.
Well, first of all, if you think about a pivot basically is feet, knees, hips, and shoulders. We take the arms and the club out of the equation for a second. The thing that Hogan did maybe better than anybody in the history of the game was had great hip action, and I think that's one that's kind of been lost in golf instruction over the years.
Randy, we talked about what the body did. Now we're going to talk about what the arms do in the golf swing. And I think early on in the book, Ronnie talks about, and you can see it in Hogan as he's swinging there, that he took his left arm across his chest and kind of connected, if you will, the arms with the body. We know they work together. The corollary of that is when you actually get your right hip to move back, that frees up your right arm to go, as Homer says, back up and in, and you get that same sensation. Talk a little bit about that. Randy, that looks awful good. Talk about your, now that we're talking about the grip, what kind of pressure do you have on the club?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Most players have heard, and I think Sam Snead was the one that started that, you want to grip the club as if you're holding a tiny bird. Mm-hmm. But as I remember Jackie Burke once saying that the bird Snead was talking about happened to be a hawk. So if you look at most tour players, if you look at it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being tight, most tour players grip it at a 7 or an 8. So it's not very light at all. One thing is you have to have the correct pressures in the grip. It's not so much about the position on the grip as it is where your pressures are. And there are 3 very important pressures. One being, I want you to feel that heel pad is on top. Mr. Hogan talked about that in his famous 5 Lessons book. Matter of fact, he had the picture where he just gripped the club. He just had the index finger of his left hand hooked under the bottom of the club, and the heel pad was up on top of the club. So if you've ever worn a glove out in the heel, that's not a good thing. It means you've got an improper grip. You want that heel pad on top of the grip.
And then if you look from the backside, there's a little bit of the butt of the club sticking out. That's a sure sign that you've really got a good grip, as opposed to if you don't see any of it, it's going to wiggle around.
It's going to move around. Absolutely, it's going to move around. So you want the heel pad on top. Then all you're going to do is you're just going to circle the club with those last 3 fingers of the left hand. Interestingly enough, a lot of people don't realize this. Before Harry Varden came along with his famous Varden grip, most players gripped it as if it...
I'm Ed Sehl. I'm a teaching golf professional from Tegakay, South Carolina. And on behalf of Ronnie Saathoff and Randy Joyner, we want to thank you for your interest in Ben Hogan. We've been able to portray for you the way Ben Hogan struck a golf ball, a lot of it based on the video taken in 1953 by the Cano family when Ben was in Mexico, 1953 was the year that he won the Masters, the United States Open, and the British Open. And so we believe that was a phenomenal year for him, and fortunately we've been able to capture that on video. We took you through several things that Ben Hogan did, and I want to reiterate just a few of them in summary for you. One of the things that he did, and he was very keen on this, was he got well into his right heel. He really turned into his right heel. Note, we didn't say that he moved over to his right side, nor did we say that he stayed on his left side. But we say that he moves into his right heel and balanced between his right heel and his left foot. So he's very much centered over the golf ball as he does that. The other thing that he did was when he started down, he shallowed the downswing. The plane shallowed, the club face open. That was very important for him for a couple of reasons. He was able then, as it shallowed, the right elbow got in close to his side automatically as you do that, and the club face opened so that he was able to get to the inside of the golf ball, a very important thing for Ben Hogan. He got to the inside of the golf ball, and then as he continued to pivot to the left, you notice that the left arm and the right go to the left, and he's able to really throw the club, if you will, as hard as he wants to the left and over his left shoulder without any fear of hitting a hook. To do that, you have to be comfortable with the fact that as you practice and come into it, the back of the left hand is up and the palm of the right hand is up. You want to be sure that you get to that position as you hit balls and keep moving to the left as hard as you want to, and you'll gradually see the ball go straighter and straighter. Dave Marr told me that when they would go to Seminole in Florida to get ready for the Masters, Ben would start out hitting a big slice and gradually a fade, and the harder he went at it and the harder he went at it, the straighter the ball went. You're going to get that sensation, but you want to make sure that you're comfortable feeling as you come into it that the club is nice and open so that you can throw it over your left shoulder and hit it as straight as you want to. Go to the practice tee with a clear thought in mind based on what you've seen in this ebook. Hit balls, trust your feedback mechanism, primarily what it feels like to you at impact and the trajectory that you're starting to get with each shot. If there's any doubt at all in your mind, go back through the ebook and clarify, because until you have a clear image in your mind of what you want to do, and then you go practice that, you're not really going to get any better. So get a clear thought in your mind, go to the practice tee, work on it until you get better and better. I think you're going to see some significant changes in the way you hit a golf ball. Again, we want to thank you for purchasing the ebook. We want to thank Ron Saathoff and Randy Joyner for their help in putting this together. Couldn't have done it without them. We also want to thank Billy Martin for his help in arranging the ebook. And certainly we want to thank the Tigake Golf Club for letting us film there. And we want to thank Del Radcliffe with the Charles T. Myers Golf Course in Charlotte for letting us film there. Again, on behalf of myself and Ronnie Saathoff and Randy Joyner, thanks so much. Good luck with your golf.